Today I'm going to show you how to do a listing packet in the MLS and send off the forms to have the seller sign. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into the MLS and you're going to find your property. Now what I normally do is we want to find the PID number or the past MLS number so that we can import whatever information is in there. So I'll explain here as we go. I'm going to go to the tax record, and for the sake of this instruction, we're going to use the address 6055 Bowman. I'm going to open up, here's the tax record, and what I'm searching for is this PID number, only I want the one without the dashes in it. So I'm just going to copy that. Then I'm going to go back to home, and then transaction desk. Here I'm going to select home on the left and then add. I'm going to name my folder the address, and for my sake put test training, and then my template is going to be the Minnesota listing folder 2019. If you notice that there's a lot and land listing folder, if it's a lot or land listing, the lot land sale packet if you're purchasing it. So these are all of the different folders. The one that we use is the Minnesota listing folder. August 2019 is the most current forms. So we select that. Here is where you're going to put your PID number in so that it can import some data. So here is the Realist North Star. That is where you're going to put your PID information in. It is in Dakota County, and there is my tax number there. We are the seller's agent, so we want to make sure to select that. And then we're going to use the wizard to create the transaction. Then you click create. Okay, here's where you want to fill out all of the details of the file. So it's automatically imported the address from the tax records. Property type is a residential personal, so you'll want to select that. The street name, the city, county, it puts in the PID number. You'll want to add the school district. I don't remember what it is, so I'm just going to put 831 as an example. It automatically imports the legal description. And here we're going to say we're going to list this for $400,000. If you don't know what it is yet, you can always leave it blank. And then all the other information we don't need at this time. So then you select next. This brings you to the transaction dates. So you'll want to put in your list date. We're going to say today's date is the list date. Then the expiration date. One thing we on the Jason Gorman team do is we expire every listing on the 15th of the month. Just makes it easier to remember to check a week in advance for any listings that are getting ready to expire instead of having them expire on random days. So in this case, we usually go 6 months out. So we'll go to November 15th. Actually, 6 months out would be December. So we'll just go to December 15th. Okay, and there is no other information here that is necessary. So then we select next. This is where you'll want to add your contacts. So your seller's information will go here. This is our information. So in this case, I'm logged in as Jason, and Jason's the seller's agent. It shows that he's the broker. Your name will pop up if you're doing it in your MLS. So now we want to add the sellers. So we were going to create a new transaction contact. We are going to say they are the seller, and we'll just put test 2, test 3. That's their first and last name. test3@gmail.com is going to be their email. Their legal name is test2, test3. Their preferred signature and their preferred initials, we'll say, is that. And then you're going to add them to the address book and then select save. That will bring them right there. So that adds them to the transaction. And now you select next again. Here it's going to populate all the listing forms, all the Minnesota listing forms. You will want to remove the ones that aren't necessary. So if you need the transaction checklist, which shows you all the forms that sellers or that KW requires when you're turning in a listing, you just click on that and you can see. They require certification to withhold, if applicable, coming soon if applicable, the listing input form, showing information sheet, listing contract, agency and affiliated, KW disclosures, wire fraud, etc. If it's not well in septic, you wouldn't want to do those, so obviously you would want to delete that. If you don't need a truth in housing, that's not something, you could just put a line through it. Same with if you're not in Golden Valley or West St. Paul, you don't need a sewer scope. So, or if it was built before 1978, you wouldn't need a lead-based paint. Now you will want to exit that by just selecting the folder and then the X. Okay, it brings you back to the forms. So now you'll want to go through and fill out all of the forms as necessary. I'm not going to go through them all with you. Just remove the ones that don't apply. And also keep in mind that our team uses a different KW Premier disclosure and waivers because we charge $5.95 as a team and not $3.99. And therefore we use a different net sheet as well. So your estimate of proceeds, we have those in separate documents. I'll show you that in the next video. So you can always remove the estimate of proceeds and remove this particular disclosure. Fill out everything, you just click on it. Some of the things will be imported. You just fill in all the appropriate information. Always remember to go here, select save, and then select exit when you're done completing the form. Then you'll want to select next. Here's where you would add in the documents. So if I wanted to add in our net sheet or net proceeds, estimate of proceeds, I would just select add, and then you would want to upload that from your computer. Same with our $5.95 KWPR disclosure, you would select add and bring it into here. For this sake, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do that in a separate video. Then you will select done. So now you have all of the forms that you need for the sellers to sign. And you will then select over here, you will select the forms. You'll want to select this button to make sure that we're signing all of them. You'll want to select the basket and then the pen. This brings you to the Instinet signing. So here you'll have your signing name, which is the folder name. You'll always want to do the first come, first serve SimuleSign. What that means is that husband and wife can all go when they want to sign instead of having to make the husband sign first. Then it'll allow the wife to sign. Then it'll allow the seller's agent to sign. This way, anybody can sign at any time. Participants, you'll select that. You'll make sure, okay, Jason is going to be a remote signer. The seller is a remote signer, and you select add. Now here are the documents. So if you want to just review everything, if there's something you forgot and you want to add, you can add them. And now you do your design. So you select design, it's going to pull up all of the pages. Okay, this particular one does not need to be signed. And you honestly wouldn't even need to include it if you didn't want to. So here is the certification to withhold. If you notice, because of our import, it already added the signature line here. It does not do that for every single page, so make sure to look at all of them before sending it. Let's say here you missed a contract date and you wanted to add that. Instead of having to go back, you can do a markup and you can select the T and you can just then double click here and type in the date, whatever it is. And to move it, you have to kind of drag it like that. So then that's how you would add your date. If you want to remove it, you select it and you can select the trash can and then it's gone. So now we're just going to scroll down through all of these, make sure everything is, the signatures are here. Notice it didn't put Jason's signature on that line. So then we'll want to go up here, make sure Jason Gorman is highlighted. We're going to select the drag and drop and the sign here square. So you're going to select the sign here. It's going to put the signature box here, and you just want to click and drag it down to where it needs to be. And continue scrolling. Same here, it didn't put the signatures where they need to be, so you'll want to put the agent or the seller's signature here, and then in this case, Jason's signature would go here. Oops. Just like that. Actually, that's not Jason's signature. Jason's signature goes right there. I apologize. That's the second owner. Okay. All right, now here is the rest of the MLS input form. So you're just now looking for areas they need to sign. So you scroll through it all until you get to the bottom. We're not going to go through all of these. We'll do make sure the exclusive right to sell is all filled out correctly for the signatures. And there it is. There's the initials automatically input there. Here's your signature lines. And here as well. So once you're done doing that and going through all of the pages, then you select next. Here you'll want to customize your invitation and you'll want to put in whatever you want. Obviously, you're not going to send something to yourself. So then you're going to send them, listing documents to sign. And then put your note to them, say, looking forward to helping you sell your home. Here are the listing forms to sign. If you have any questions, please give me a call. And then you select save and send invitations. And then it'll say the Authentisign invitations were successfully sent. And you select OK. You'll notice that there's the little gear here. While there's the gear, if you select on it, you'll see that they have not authenticated it, which means they haven't looked at it yet. They haven't signed it yet. But if you go to home, actually, if you go to the pen, you can look at the ones that you've submitted for signing. And here it is right here. It's got the little lightning bolt. So you can select that and see, nope, they still haven't done that. So then you go over again to the pen, and I'll show you what one looks like when it is signed. So there you go. They've authenticated it. So it's got the little flag, and then they've signed it. And then it'll show you the documents right here. So here's the separated signed documents, and then here's the final document if you wanted to review that in a PDF form. And that is how you create listing forms in a listing folder within the MLS and send it for signatures. Thanks so much.